For more dialogue on population data, just go to my playlist entitled Populations, where I share different content about population data. And I hope you enjoy this specific dialogue. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, and I hope all is well for you today. And in this population-based series, we will be discussing anything from articles to news reports, potential conspiracy theories, and assessing population data. So if that's something you're interested in, hopefully you will enjoy this dialogue. And in this episode, we will be talking about population data. In this episode, we will be talking about the populations of Fiji and the Bahamas. According to the World Factbook, Fiji is part of Oceania. According to Britannica, Fiji is a country and archipelago located in the South Pacific Ocean. According to the World Factbook, the Bahamas are in the North Atlantic Ocean, although the Bahamas does not border the Caribbean Sea. Geopolitically, it is often designated as a Caribbean nation. According to Britannica, the Bahamas are an archipelago and country located on the northwestern edge of the West Indies. According to the World Factbook, Fiji is rich in natural resources such as timber, fish, gold, copper, offshore oil potential, hydropower. According to the World Atlas, Fiji is rich in natural resources such as arable land, sugarcane, forests, silver. According to the World Factbook, the Bahamas is rich in natural resources such as salt, aragonite, timber, arable land. According to the World Atlas, the Bahamas is rich in natural resources such as fruits such as avocados and oranges, fish, forests, oil. According to Ethnologue, Fiji contains 8 living indigenous languages and 7 living non-indigenous languages. The Bahamas contains 1 living indigenous language and 2 living non-indigenous languages. Fiji is 56.8% Black. According to minorityrightsgroup.org, the population of Fiji consists of 2 principal ethnic groups: the indigenous Melanesian population, referred to from CIA.gov, quote, Itoke, which are those of mixed Melanesian-Polynesian origin. They are the indigenous Fijians, which constitute a majority of Fiji's population. The second ethnic group is the Indo-Fijian, commonly referred to as the Indian population. The Bahamas are 90.6% Black. 58.8% of Fijian women representing the ages 15 through 49 are currently married. 38.9% of Bahamian women representing the ages 15 through 49 are currently married. 24.7% of people in Fiji are 0 to 14 years old. 66.4% of people in Fiji are 15 through 64 years old. 8.9% of people in Fiji are 65 years and over. The majority of people in Fiji are between the ages 15 through 64 years old. 21.4% of people in the Bahamas are 0 to 14 years old. 70% of people in the Bahamas are 15 through 64 years old. 8.6% of people in the Bahamas are 65 years and over. The majority of people in the Bahamas are between the ages 15 through 64 years old. The median age of Fiji is 31.6 years old. The median age of the Bahamas is 30.7 years old. Fiji's growth rate is 0.3%. The Bahamas' growth rate is 0.33%. Fiji ranks 162. The Bahamas rank 178. There is a net gain of one person every 120 minutes in Fiji. There is a net gain of one person every 288 minutes in the Bahamas. The gross reproduction rate of Fiji is more than 1. The gross reproduction rate of Fiji is at 1.08, which means that the next generation of daughters in Fiji will replace the former generation of women in Fiji. The gross reproduction rate of the Bahamas is less than 1. The gross reproduction rate of the Bahamas is at 0.71. which means that the next generation of daughters in the Bahamas will be less numerous than the generation of women before them. The total fertility rate of Fiji is more than 2.1. The total fertility rate is 2.3, which means that the population of Fiji is sustainable. The total fertility rate of the Bahamas is less than 2.1. The total fertility rate of the Bahamas is 1.4, which means that the population of the Bahamas will likely face decline. There is one birth every 32 minutes in Fiji. There is one birth every 120 minutes in the Bahamas. There are 45 births per day in Fiji. There are 12 births per day in the Bahamas. Now let us look at the 2025 current populations of Fiji and the Bahamas. As per World Population Review, Fiji is at 930,526. Bahamas is at 401,998. Let's look at the population forecast. For the years 2030, 2040, and 2050. By 2030, Fiji is set to rise to 953,106. By 2040, Fiji is set to rise to 983,858. By 2050, Fiji is set to rise to 1,260,000. By 2030, the Bahamas is set to rise to 410,267. By 2040, the Bahamas is set to rise to 420,346. By 2050, the Bahamas is set to rise to 424,265. The Bahamas will gradually rise throughout the decades, but will face decline by 2055. Well, that is all we have for today's episode, and I hope you enjoyed this discussion, where we looked at the populations of Fiji and the Bahamas. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned for more.